Aruna Pulipaka Megar. Today I'm so excited to welcome you all to Aruna's World Kitchen. I'm going to make today baba Ghanoush, which is an eggplant dish from the Middle East. It actually originated from Lebanon, but it had various variations all over the world, and today I'm going to make my version of eggplant baba Ghanoush. So before I start showing you the ingredients, I quickly want to share with you how I came to know of baba Ghanoush first and where I ate it. So I ate that first in New York City. It's in Mamoun's Falafel. It's a very famous place in New York City, and there I was just walking around looking for some good vegetarian food for me, and that really looked appealing, so I went and had a platter of Middle Eastern food, and baba Ghanoush was one of them. So that is how I got into Middle Eastern food, and there is no stopping for me. So before putting together the baba Ghanoush today, I want to show you the ingredients that are needed for that, which I'm going to use. First and foremost, the eggplant. Eggplant is the main ingredient for this, and I use, as I say often, I try to get organic. So I got a good organic eggplant, and the ripeness or the maturity of the eggplant also plays a big role in how the texture comes out. So I want to make sure that it is not too mature or it is not too tender. And my mother used to tell me one way of testing this eggplant maturity level is by looking at this edge, and it should be a little like greenish and not totally white and hard. So this is perfect. It is soft enough, not too mushy, and it's not too seedy, not too mature. So I'm hoping this is going to be good. And then the other most important ingredient for this is tahini sauce, tahini paste. It is made with sesame seeds, ground up sesame seeds. And I always get again organic tahini paste, and you can get it from any gourmet store or even regular grocery stores. And sometimes I get it from Indian store also. It's even less expensive there. So that's what I'm going to use today, organic tahini sauce. And then of course we need for taste some lemon juice. So I'm using half lemon which is cut, but I'll adjust the taste according to my preference after tasting. And then a little bit of salt. And another main ingredient is garlic. So I'm not going to use lots of garlic, but I'm going to use one big bulb of garlic, and which I'm going to do is I'll chop it, or I can just mash it and then add in the end. So I'm mashing it now. Yeah, it is mashed. And so I have salt, and then I'll garnish it with some crushed pepper, and in the end usually it is garnished with roasted pine nuts, but I don't have them ready, so I have some roasted pumpkin seeds which I'm going to garnish with that, and also chopped parsley leaves, but these are totally optional. You can use it or leave it. So these are the ingredients, but now I will talk about the process. So here is the process. The first thing is the eggplant has to be either baked, or it has to be put on direct flame on the stove top, or traditionally for really charred taste they would put it on burning coal. So I don't have that. So I'm going to use my oven at 360 degrees. I preheat it at 360 degrees, and I had already lined up a cooking sheet with the aluminum foil with some oil sprayed on that. And then I'm going to poke holes into the eggplant like 5 or 6, so that the juices would come out and it would cook very well. So I'm doing that, and I'm going to put it on the tray here, and then I'm going to bake it at 360 degrees for 30 minutes. And then in order to really get some nice charred taste to that, I'm going to broil it for 4 more minutes after that. And after that, I'll let it cool, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I mix it together. So my eggplant is all ready. As you can see, it's nicely baked, and not only baked, see, it's even charred nicely. You can see the color here. Nicely charred and coming off, because in the end, I broiled it on each side for 4 minutes, and then I let it cool. It's not totally cool now, but it's almost, cool. So, some people, they just cut it and take it out. But since I broiled it nicely and it's coming off nicely, the skin, I'm trying to use my fingers and peel off the skin. And even if a little bit of charred skin is there, it's not end of the world, and it really adds a little bit of flavor also. So this is ready, and I just, wiping my fingers. And before I put everything together, the first thing I'm doing is I'm squeezing in half a lemon here, the lemon juice. And again, as I said, the lemon part or the salt part is according to your wish. Like you can adjust it according to your preference. So I'm adding this much now, and then I'm going to scoop out this eggplant with this spoon. Let me see, or I'm using just my hand. It's messy, no doubt. And it's still a bit hot, so I don't want to burn my fingers. But see, it's coming out so nicely. Look at the beautiful color here. It's charred and brown, and wow. Smells great though. So bear with me while I finish scooping this off, almost all of it. And I'm putting this away. And now I'm bringing in the 1/3 cup of tahini paste I have here, the sesame paste. And one thing I want to highlight here is the importance of like stirring and mixing the tahini in the jar before you scoop it out, because the oil separates from the tahini paste, and on the top you have the top layer of oil separated from the very thick paste in the bottom. So you have to mix it well. So what I'm going to do now is I did all that, and this is 1/3 cup, and I'm adding this to this. And where is my spoon? I put away my spoon, so I'm scooping it out nicely. And before I mix it thoroughly, I'm going to add 1 clove of nicely crushed garlic to this. I'm using a little less garlic, but again, if you want it really, garlicky taste, you can add more. And then I'm going to add some salt, like maybe 1/4 teaspoon salt. And salt is one thing which always you can add later, but if you add too much, it would be too salty. So, and then I'm also adding some crushed black pepper, because I really like it peppery. Okay, and then I'm just mixing it, mashing it and mixing it nicely. It takes like a couple of minutes to get that creamy texture. I noticed that some people, they blend it in the blender. it becomes like too pasty, and it doesn't have this chunky and earthy flavor that comes from just mashing it together like this. So you can leave it as coarse as you want, or you can continue mixing it more. So this is almost done, and as I say about my guacamole dish, my husband David, he likes it a bit chunky, and I also like it that way. So I'm keeping it like this, but I would recommend mashing it a bit more if you really want it more pasty, okay? But I really don't recommend getting it blended though. So I think this is done, and I'm garnishing it with some freshly cut parsley leaves. And since I don't have pine nuts here, I'm using roasted pine nuts here to decorate.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin seeds here to decorate. And I'll garnish it with a little olive oil in the end. So here goes our baba ganoush. And we are so hungry, we want to eat it right away, but I feel that unless I make hummus also to go with that, it doesn't feel complete. So I'll come back with my hummus dish. Bye bye.